Okay, we're back, and this video is going to teach you on how to create this beautiful little button here so you can insert it into your website that's clickable, that will translate your website to whatever language you want. So there's a really cool online program called Pixlr. That's Pixlr.com, and it's totally free, and it's basically like Photoshop on the internet, and it's totally free. And once you sign up your account, you can use it and save stuff directly on it. So I'm going to show you how to create a button in Pixlr, and then teach you how to then make that button clickable and then insert it into eEdge. So I'm going to go into Pixlr Advanced. The only reason I choose Advanced is because it opens up more options for you. So I'm going to create a new image with a blank, starting with a blank image from the clipboard. I'm going to name this button, and then the presets 8x600 is fine. So just hit OK, and it's going to give me a screen here. So really quickly, the navigation around it. If you don't know how to use Photoshop, that's fine. Just copy what I'm doing, and it's fairly simple. So over here, you've got a navigator, you've got the layers tool, and then you've got history, which anyway, try not to worry about that. Sorry. This isn't a tutorial on how to use Photoshop. But anyway, the first thing you're going to want to do is click this little, it looks like a little post-it note icon. When you hover over it, it'll say new layer. I want you to create a new layer. And then you'll see it's here, it says layer 1. Make sure that it's highlighted in blue before you get started. And then, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to come over here and you're going to choose this marquee tool. It's like the dotted box tool. And then come in here and just create a rectangle or whatever size of button you want. You can make it real thin, or you can make it big, or whatever. So you'll click that and you'll make the rectangle. Then the next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to fill that with color. So you can use the paint bucket tool to fill that with color, and then you want to choose what color you're going to use. And down here is the color palette. If you don't want it to be black, you can click on that and then pick what color you want. And so you can move, when you move this around, you can change, this, if you want a blue button, there's a blue button, and then you can make it darker or lighter by moving this interior piece around. But if you move this all the way to the right, then you're going to always have a very vibrant color, and then you can slide this wheel around. So I like red buttons. The theme of my website is red and white, so I'm going to make a red button. So I'm going to click OK. This changes to red. That's how you know it's working. And here's the paint bucket tool. So I'm just going to go right in the center here. Boom. Click in the center, creates a paint bucket tool. I'm also going to now make sure, I'm going to get rid of the dotted line around. So I'm just going to go up here and edit and hit deselect all, and that gets rid of my dotted line. Now you'll notice on my button there's a little bit of effects, like I made it beveled, and there's a drop shadow. I'm going to show you real quick on how to do that. So you can actually go in here and you can either double click on the layer. No, sorry, that's a Photoshop thing. You can go to layer, and then if you go to layer styles, there's this little toolbox here, and you can create a bevel, and see how it automatically did that. If you click on bevel, you can adjust it and make it bigger or smaller, etc. But don't get too crazy. Subtlety is nice when it comes to doing anything like this. So just a little suggestion of 3D is good. And then you can also do a drop shadow by clicking the drop shadow, and it starts out real harsh. So click on drop shadow, and you can actually make it go further away, make it real floaty. You can then by moving this button, it makes it kind of softer. So that's kind of nice. And you can also make it lighter or darker with the opacity slider. So play around with that. Again, I like to just suggest a little bit of 3D. Don't make it too over the top. So right there is real nice. So there's the background of your button. So what I did here to get this text is basically decide what language you want to be using, and then you're going to go to Google Translate to do whatever. So let's say I want to create a button that says click here to see the in Polish. So I'll go to Google Translate, and here's the beautiful thing. You don't need to know Polish. So if you go to translate.google.com, it'll open up this screen here, and you can either put in a website address in here or type in here, and on the other side it will pump out the translation. So by clicking the translation, you can go and let's select from English, and we want it to turn into Polish. So I'll type in here, click here for Polish. Whoops. So, and you can actually, if you hover over it, it'll tell you what part of the thing is the translation. Pretty neat tool. So I'm just going to actually copy this, and then I'm going to go back to Pixlr, and I'm going to select the type tool, which is just the letter button, and then I'm going to click. Well, it's right now it's going to do red. So if I click in here on red, you won't see it. So I'm going to actually do black lettering. So I'll click on basically any one of these, or you can click back in the center and change the color. And then I'm going to click in here, and I'm just going to paste. This text box is going to open up. I'm going to paste it there, and then I can move this around. I can change the size, make it fit real nice. And you can change the font, bold, italic, etc., regular. There's like a bajillion fonts to choose from. Or you can just keep it, you know, basic, which is Arial. And just kind of center it for yourself here, and then hit OK. And so great. You can save this a couple different ways. I like to do a little bit of a shortcut using the snipping tool rather than using the internal one, because then I can do several different things. So if you've done the snipping tool before, you can open up and then type in snipping in the start button, and it'll bring up the snipping tool, and then click on it, and what it'll do is it'll gray out your screen, and then you'll get this little crosshair that you can drag, and what it does is it captures a screenshot of whatever you're using, and then you can save that wherever you need it to be. So we can go desktop, and then we'll call it Polish button. Okay, so I've created the button. The next thing I want to do now is I want to create it to be clickable. So we're 8 minutes into this video. Okay, I think we can do it in time. So I'm done with Pixlr, so I can close it. I use Blogger to do all of my clickable buttons on the internet, and the reason why is because there is what's called a WYSIWYG editor, and that stands for what you see is what you get. So WISI, whatever, WYSIWYG, however you spell WYSIWYG. Anyway, I just know that's what it's called. And when you go into Blogger, so Blogger, again, it's free. Create an account. And so to go back to the beginning, when you, because I went past the step, sorry. When you open up Blogger and you create a blog, don't worry about what it's called. You'll see this orange pencil, and that's create a new post. And that's just going to get me to the editor screen that I want. And there's a step in here I want to point out because it can be frustrating if you miss this one. These buttons here, go to Compose. You want to make sure you're seeing all of this stuff across the top. If you're not, it's clicked over on HTML, and you don't want that. So click over to Compose, make sure Compose is highlighted, and then go from there. So I'm going to import or insert an image. Basically, I want to bring over the button I just created. So I'm going to upload the button, desktop, and I called it Polish button. So it's bringing it up. I'm going to click on it, and then I'm going to hit Add Selected. So that brought in the button on my website. I just want to align it to the left. So Right now there's an image. I can make this image clickable. And I can do that by clicking, oops, sorry, sometimes this thing gets jumpy. Whoa, I meant to do that. So select it, click link, and then you'll want to get this screen. Okay, so basically what we're saying is if somebody clicks on this button, where do we want this button to take them? What I want the button to do is to take them to the Polish version of the website. So all you have to do that is go back to Google Translate and put in the address of your eEdge website. Mine is matl.kwrealty.com. Okay, so then I'll hit translate, and it's actually going to pull up my website in Polish. But here's the thing. If you look at the top, this link will always take someone to my website translated in Polish. So I'm just going to select this whole hyperlink. I'm going to right click and copy. I'm going to head back to Blogger, because what we're doing is we're saying if somebody clicks on this button, where do we want them to go? We want them to go to my website in Polish. So, okay, great. So I've got this button. How do I get it over to the eEdge website? I'm running out of time here on this video, so I'm going to pause. I'm going to pause this video, and I'll be right back for the third and last video, which is taking this button and inserting it into your eEdge website. So hang tight, and I'll be right back.